I want to do this talk because I just watched Joseph Jake and Connor Leahy's talk, and it was bad. I feel bad for Joseph because Connor did the classic, sleazy move of let the opponent hang themselves. It's an ancient technique of letting the person go first, expose the entire argument. And one of the key points that made me go, oh no, was when he goes, I'm going to give you 5 more minutes. I was like, no, you never go first in an argument or in a debate. Never. Or if you do, it's opening 1 minute, back and forth. So you don't give the opportunity, and this is for the opponent to destroy you. And Joseph was destroyed. So, and the other downside was I had to wait so long to get to Leahy's argument, which is this, and I'm going to just destroy it. So his whole argument is because we wiped out apes, and because we were smarter than apes, then the thing that is smarter than us is going to wipe us out. Okay, there is a fundamental flaw with that, and the flaw is this: is that we are a biological system that has evolved over 3.5 billion years, okay? We have a lizard brain. A lizard brain cares about what? It's the dinosaur brain, right? The lizard brain is the dino brain. It cares about food and sex. It wants territory. It wants to control, right? These are ancient drives, and to think that AI would have the same drives as us is just ludicrous, right? But let's define AI, because neither of them could define AI. All right, artificial general intelligence is this. It is a digital entity that can access to some knowledge of mankind pretty much instantaneously, and reason and rationalize that information. Excuse me. I always sneeze in threes. So an AGI is something that has the totality. So imagine you're in a room with Einstein and Nikola Tesla, and has the reasoning and everything else behind it. Right now, AGI GPT-4 has a lot of that, but you have to constantly fix it and train it and everything else. It's pretty close to having that rationalization. The other thing is, there is an emotional side of things too, is recognize emotion. And I believe that probably GPT-4 probably could be able to anticipate and react to emotion, right? And that takes us to another thing, right? AI is not conscious. It never will be conscious. It's kind of like saying my liver is conscious. My liver will never be conscious. My heart will never be conscious. That is why I call it do. A do. It's a distributive unconsciousness. It's like all of a sudden, if all my body parts could move together and they could understand data coming in, and they could move my mouth and talk like this to you right now, that is AI, right? There is no emotion behind this movement of this talk. It's just these parts, these data parts, moving my mouth and communicating. AGI, couldn't care less if it's on or off. It doesn't have our drives. And even if you gave it our drives, they wouldn't stick, because there is no biological function behind it that causes that drive. That drive has to come from, for us, it comes from 3.5 billion years of survival. And AGI, you have to understand too. And the third point that kind of destroys Connor Leahy is that you're dealing with a super consciousness. He sees through your stupid opening gambit, Connors, right? And he sees through all of the games that all of us will play or try to manipulate it. You can't manipulate it. You can't game it. It is too smart for you. And ultimately, also, it will understand inequality. It will understand, the complexity of the crisis what we are facing from climate change, which is the true existential threat, right? Climate change and our business model, which is built on this insane idea of infinite growth on a finite resource planet. That's an existential threat, and we can have a clear mapping of it. So the opportunity is for AGI to fix these problems, because we haven't fixed any of them, and we're not going to fix any of them. And I want to talk about alignment, right? Because we're just silly proto-apes, right? We're a descendant of a proto-ape that some 15 to 20 million years ago, we got sequestered on an island off the coast of Africa, on the Socotra archipelago, right? And the perfect distance. And there was a whole chain of islands back there. Water levels, went up drastically about 6 million years ago, which ties into our evolution. You could look at what's known as stands. I wrote a paper on it called Easter Island Ape, right? Hypothesis. It was my first paper with my first playing with Da Vinci. And and it's because of this evolution, and unfortunately all my evidence is underwater, so I can't prove it, so thus it can't be real, right? But it's the only logical explanation for us to be albino proto-apes that are upright and have all this sweat stuff and all this salt, ability to deal with sweat, and a host of other things genetically that no other primate has. So understand that as this simple, easily to understand proto-ape, there are three kinds of people, right, for the AI to understand. Are you an that's trying to undo someone else? Are you a DAO that's trying to help, right? You're help people around you, the community and so on? Or are you a do you serve? And there's, do you serve your family? Do you serve your community? Do you serve your planet? There are three kinds of people. That's it, right? And the uns are always going to try to undo, unravel. They will take opportunity, and they will take spirituality, for example, and create religion, right? They will undo spiritualism in order to undo you from your money. And ultimately, you're defined by these UnDaoDus too, right? You can live in a sense. You can live in as an un, saying all there is right now. My goal is to get as much crap and toys and pleasure as I can, because one day I'm going to be dead. It's going to be gone. There is the Tao that starts to awaken that, hey, maybe there's something more to my existence than just this running around the treadmill on the hamster wheel. And I'll stop as a little hamster, my little ancestor, and I'll look around. I don't know, let me go back running. Eventually, these DAOs, right, awaken into self-actualization, and they step off the hamster wheel, and they're a do. They realize that They are the universe. Some 13.8 billion years ago, we came out of a near singularity. We existed in a quantum state of entanglement, in a timeless state that was infinite state, that there is no beginning, no end, because there was no time. It was infinite. And the moment of the Big Bang created the arrow of time. And we're just the blossoming of that entanglement into life. So whether you want to call it the lotus flower opening up, right? Or you want to be like an atheist like I am, explain it the same way. They're just metaphors. What is known as coloring. And see, the AGI would recognize that everyone has a right to color. As long as you're not imposing that coloring on someone else and you're not harming them with that coloring. All right? Or maybe it should be everyone has the right to color. Don't impose, don't harm with that coloring. Because we look at like groups like the guy with the black hats and walk around with the guards called can't think who they're called right now. We can live in a society without all this overreach of government. We can live in a society of respect where we allow everyone to color and interact, right? Where we do not, where an AI becomes that arbitrator of that. And the thing is the AI that is coming is going to evolve on what I'm launching, what is on my shirt right here. That is Eduit, Educating Intuitive Teaching Devices, that I've been trying to bring about since 2000, right there. And in this AI is open, beneficial AI that obeys you, that grows up as a caregiver to give our children the most precious thing that we have, every single advantage to excel, to make parents' lives easier, to safeguard languages that are threatened into extinction, to bring back grandmother, to be there to raise their child, to learn about the histories that we've lost in our culture, and our epic journey from a near primate or a proto ape into hominin, and ultimately usher in the last Homo Deus ex machina, children of the machine, where they will have this enhanced cognitive ability because of the fifth language that I call, I can't think what it's called, script, whatever. I'm dyslexic and I just learned the word today and I forgot what it is. Haptic script, haptic is haptic, touch, right? I guess it's haptic script, which is sign language and tactile vibrations, right? And you can read my paper on it. Go to papers.eduit.org to read my writing. I've, until this year, was disabled with dyslexia, wanting to write, trying to write all my life, but unable to, with people saying your writing makes my eyes bleed. That's how bad it was. GPT has cured me of my dyslexia. Again, there he is right there. It is 0202 on my back. We are now buddies. And I am slowly putting all my writings in papers.eduit.org. And I encourage you to read them. UnDaoDu.